Hyperfocus, my superpower. When I have the right environment, peace and quiet, I can hyper. What that means is that was a dude sending me something about a Domino's pizza, two free something or others. With hyperfocusing, it means that if you don't bother, Jesus fucking Christ. With hyperfocusing, it means that if I have the right environment, I'm not bothered. You're not constantly coming up and yakking in my ear while I'm in Starbucks. Things like that. I can sit down and I can learn faster than any of you. I can learn faster than anyone I know. But the problem is, if I don't have the ability to hyper focus, because I don't have the right environment, it doesn't matter how many drugs you put into me, it's not going to make it better. Now, there's a lot of people who have the same issues that I have with medication. I mean, literally, there are at least 6 people here in town that I've spoken with that have taken mood stabilizers and antidepressants, and they're just pissed off the whole time. There's a reason for that. That is actually one of the side effects. That's why when I go in and I tell a doctor I'm allergic to drugs, I'm allergic to medications, I mean it. I already know what kind of medications they want to put me on. Those medications don't help. When you need a police officer because you are being fucking abused, drugs don't fix that. Antidepressants and talking to a therapist don't fix that. They do not help you to get into a better environment. No matter how many times or how many appointments I go go talk to a therapist and get a card, no matter how many times, if I don't have a safe environment, that means no extraneous BS, then it doesn't matter. It's just wasting my resources to go. When it's something that's not that important, like at Starbucks, I was learning about a lot of stuff. I was learning about World War I airplanes and the engines. And then I started learning about jet engines and rocket engines. Learned about rotomolding plastics. Learned about recyclables. Trying to learn how to help people out using recycled materials. Mm. You see this bottle here? This is #1 recyclable plastics. #1. It's polyethylene terephthalate. It melts down at 276 degrees Fahrenheit. You can take this right here. You see the shape that it's in? Heck, you can make a boat just like this, just bigger. Hop yourself in it. You're good to go. You could also take this very same thing right here. You can put it into a mold and you can make it into a different shape. You can put well, I'm not going to get into that. I've explained my idea for a brick. Throw that to the side. The fact is, with that train going by, that wouldn't be a major issue. It wouldn't be. If I had my own environment and I had to listen to the train, that's not a big major thing. It's really not. because I can stop while the train goes by and then get back to what I was working on. But I don't have the ability to hyperfocus. Not having the materials that I need, not having the help that I need. I mean, I need help with everything because I am so overwhelmed. I literally can't do anything for myself. I can go for a walk. I have to walk up the stairs, that hurts. I have to walk down the stairs, that hurts. It hurts me to step off of a curb. That's just the physical issue. When I am overwhelmed, I can't function. Before Natalie died, I was extremely overwhelmed and I needed help. I needed people to stop telling me what to do. If you're telling me to do something that I'm not capable of doing, and I'm telling you I'm not capable of doing, I'm telling you from experience. I mean, it's pretty obvious that I have saved a lot of evidence. It's pretty obvious that I have spent thousands of hours at this point text messaging between people. But it doesn't matter if I can't sit down and organize it all and type out my story. Now, the guy that I'm staying with, if he was to sit down with me and help me with this stuff, and I've asked him, but if he was able to sit down and help me with this stuff months ago, I would have had an income. I wouldn't feel like such a burden on him. But also, there's the fact that when you ask somebody to help you with something, if you ask them 100 times, they're going to get sick of you asking. They're going to kick you out, and then you're out in that shit. Now it's starting to warm up, but it's also starting to get windier, or more windy for you grammar Nazis. The fact is, I need help. With all of these court dates, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, I can't defend myself in these court dates unless I can actually sit down and prepare it in peace and quiet. And that's difficult to do when, first of all, you're living in somebody else's environment and you have to try to not be a burden on them. And second of all, when you don't have the resources to jump through all the hoops that are required in order to just keep yourself fed. All of this stuff takes a lot of time, and it is completely different in my situation than it is for most of you. You're like, oh, dude, you just need to go down to the store. I got a fucked up back. I have to try to find somebody who can help me with that, and I have no income to go to the store. I am still as disabled as I was before Natalie died. Without help in person, they're going to continue to railroad me and they're going to use court dates that I should have had a proper lawyer when I went in. Court dates that I was literally tortured into pleading guilty in many cases, where slander was used to prevent me from speaking on my own behalf, where other court dates that I was not allowed to go to were used to prevent me from being able to speak on my own behalf. I need someone to actually care about me, and none of these people do. None of these people who pretended that they cared about me. Not Mandy Hughes, not Alyssa Rainwater, not Brenda Dickinson, not Kayla Trujillo. None of them actually cared about me at any point in time. Because if they actually cared, they wouldn't have thrown me away the way they did. Instead of giving me excuse after excuse after excuse why they couldn't. Did you ever try Did you ever actually try to go in with me and sit with me to make them take my report? Did you ever write down a report and go in with me to make them take it? In the right environment, I can hyper focus and I can take care of myself. I can do the things that you're asking me to do. Sure, not all of them, but a lot of them. But while I am stressed out about having no money and I have to beg people for food, beg people for rides, beg people for the money to do the most basic things, where if I had what it is that most of the kids that if I had had those things, I would have been able to take care of myself. Instead, I got victimized because I didn't have those things. Because the term mentally ill can be used to victimize me so easily, I need a guardian to protect me from bad laws, from bad police officers who abuse those laws to get away with committing atrocious crimes. They use the term mentally ill to prevent me from making a police report, to prevent me from turning in police officers, to prevent me from turning in the volunteers, to prevent me from turning in the people who are threatening my life, to prevent me from turning in people like Braxton, to prevent me from turning in people like Clearview and Officer Waylon Lolatai. And then when I am frustrated and I am literally screaming at the top of my lungs for help, I get treated like I'm a terrible person because I am screaming at the top of my lungs for help because nobody will listen. And they won't listen because of the mentally ill tag. Nobody who actually matters. If Mandy Hughes and Alyssa Rainwater had explained to my public pretenders why it is that they didn't go in with me, why it is that they didn't keep their word, instead of just the slander from my predators, like the Bollinger family, Rochelle Shelley Campbell, Danica Garner. The cops wouldn't listen to any of these people who were actually trying to make reports, but did they ever actually try? If they did, then the police broke the law by doing nothing about the abuse against a mentally disabled person. But also, if these people lied to me, if they took advantage of a mentally disabled person, then they broke the law. It's obvious the Bollinger family took advantage of me. It's obvious that Danica Garner and the police and Rochelle Shelley Campbell took advantage of me. It's obvious that Ken Wilson and Leah Plunkett took advantage of me. And they were allowed to do so by calling me mentally ill. If I am that mentally ill, then I need to be afforded the rights and the assistance that a mentally disabled person is legally entitled to. Obviously, jumping through all of these hoops is stressful for me. It's even more stressful that I jump through all of these hoops for nothing. I jump through all of these hoops to waste all of my resources jumping through these hoops. only to be abused for trying.